So for the past 2 weeks, we have done not necessarily training, but one time I asked on Tuesday, why are you here? Why are you in this business? And a lot of you shared your whys, right? And they were pretty profound. And that's some of you are like, I don't have that kind of profound why. Then you have to dig deeper because your why is not basic. It never will be super basic. It will be something you completely didn't know would be your why, your drive. Once you find that drive, that big why, your business, your life, everything will go in a different trajectory. It's just how that works because it's clarity, right? We're going through life because of our, busy lifestyle. We don't eat right. We have kids, we have distractions. We're not able to collect ourselves and really get in tune with ourselves and our body to really know what we want. Like I don't know what to do when I'm free. I don't have like a hobby. And that's a problem I have. And I'm sure a lot of you have that problem. What do I do with my free time? I don't know what to do. So we get lost.
She's just a workaholic. That's all.
I am a workaholic. So I don't have an identity otherwise from work and being a mom, right? And I need to work on that. And all of you do. We all have to make sure we work on who we are as a person. If you take work out, if you take parenting out, who are you? The why defines who you are, why you're living, breathing. And it can't just be kids because kids are going to grow up one day. They're going to leave you. They're not going to need you anymore. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, what do I do now? A lot of women I know go through this. When their kids are 18, 19 and they're gone.
Guys too.
Guys too? Oh, David is shaking his head. So yeah, okay. So a lot of us go through, who am I? What is my identity? What is my purpose? We cannot attach our purpose to people. We have to attach our purpose to our goals, our why, our wants, right? So make sure you spend some time, even if it's an hour a week, on some kind of self-help. I really truly encourage you, whether it's watching a YouTube video, it could be boring. It doesn't have to be interesting, but it's getting yourself into a practice of having 1 hour a week in learning about yourself, because that's when you discover your skill set. That's when you discover your superpower. That's when you discover your passion. I know I haven't done that yet, and I need to. I'm going to work on that. I'm telling you, but I'm also going to apply it in my life. It's very, very, very important. So we did a why session, and then we also did why you should be proud of what you do a couple weeks back, right? What is insurance? Why should we be proud? I had a whole training on that. And then I went to another training. It was this Kaizen masterclass about 2 months ago here in Dallas. And we all know Kaizen is basically premium financing for your high net worth clients. And in the beginning of the class, they started with finding a belief in what you do, a very strong belief in being in insurance. So I was going to share that with you because I remembered I wrote this down and I didn't know where I put this book. So I found it today before I go into my training. I want to reinforce how important it is what we do and how legit it is. Insurance has sometimes a negative feeling attached to it. I don't know why it is. Yes, we're morbid. We talk about death all the time. It's kind of it's what we do, right? This is part of our personality now. But a lot of people don't take us seriously because people have misused insurance, making us look bad. So it's our job to make it look good. So just a few dates I'm going to share with you. And you can write this down. I wrote this down because I thought this was really powerful. So insurance is not some shaky industry. It is not. It has been around far before America was even created. Okay? 1752, Benjamin Franklin in America created Benjamin Franklin Casualty. Okay? 1759, the first life insurance company was formed just a few years after he created a casualty insurance coverage. In 1776, we gained independence. Now, 1792, 24 people came together and they created the stock market. Insurance was there before the stock market was even created. Okay? So life insurance was there 17 years before we receive independence. Life insurance was there 33 years before the stock market was created. That's massive, guys. That's how old the industry we represent is. So they know what they're doing. They've went through everything. Wars, depression, everything. So have confidence in that before even America was created, before even the stock market was created, life insurance was already developed. So then they said, we talked about, 265 years insurance has been around. Woo, 265 years. So insurance has gone through a lot. It is a very well-developed industry. It has gone through a lot of pain points, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. So there is no mistake that these indices, these measurements of stock market, the returns that we have been given, it's no coincidence. It's well-researched, well-documented information that we are presenting to a client. 265 years worth of research. Does that give you guys a little confidence in what you do? You can come off a mic or just write a text. Thumbs up. Okay, good. Because you should be like that. And I would love for you to tell your team that as well. This is a proper industry, okay? So then the trainer talked about some other things. He talked about finding out who you are and developing your story. And I learned that out of the whole training, he spent the most time. And then after this training, he says, you can go into my other training. And that training is about developing your story.
No illustration.
No technical training, no illustrations. That 1 3-day training that he has us go to after this first day of the first day was spent on this, is learning about why your story is so important. As a salesperson, once you develop your story, you are unstoppable. And this guy makes multi-millions a year in insurance. So I was listening. I was taking notes. And he's been on TED Talk. He's done all kinds of speeches. And he said, the best thing you can do for your business is make sure you understand what your story is. And your story can be anything. It could be why you got into insurance. It could be you had a certain life situation happen, right? It could be that you were looking for a career and you finally found a career that speaks to you. There could be, I'm going to go into further with that. But also, he said, don't forget, your story needs to be tied in with branding. And we at Wealthmakers really, really lean heavy on personal branding. We say brand yourself like crazy, like it's nobody's business. You should be branding yourself because you are creating your legacy. You're not developing my legacy. You are developing your legacy. I see some people with logos in their background. Wouldn't you want that to be on a billboard? Wouldn't you want your kids to have that logo in their office space, on their business cards? Wouldn't you want a team having that business card with your logo that you developed as part of your agency? You should be. Wealthmakers is just an engine that we are providing for you to build your agency. We don't own your agency. You own your own agency. We own our own agency. You are just part of agencies. That's a different story.
Yeah,
but you have,
big well managed.
Yeah, we are our own. On the side, we are big wealth. Our supporting engine is Wealthmakers. It's giving us all the tech tools, all the training, and we are empowered by a platform called Experior. Let's make sure we understand that relationship. You are your own brand.
You should be. Yeah.
And you should be. Let no one ever take your business away from you. We have experienced this and we are absolutely against that. That's why we always talk about branding yourself. So when you brand yourself, Google did a research. And Google is a reasonable voice to listen to. They know what they're doing. They said people spend 7 hours in a day consuming information. They need 7 hours of consuming information. In order to buy a product, they need 11 touch points. What does that mean? Does anybody know what touch point means?
David, unmute yourself.
Mute's on.
Yeah, points of contact, times to like email, phone number, phone call, text message.
That is it.
And a lot of you give up on a client when they say no the first time.
And traditionally speaking, the number is always 7 that I have been trained, but Google says it's 11. In the age of too much information, I can see how that makes sense. There's too much information. We're processing so much through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You know that, and I know that there's a barrage of information coming in. It's not just one TV and there's like 12 channels and then our information is controlled. No. Now our information is completely spread out. It's way too much. It's overwhelming. So Google says now you need to have 11 touch points. You can write that down because then you need to remember you got to talk to that client somehow in some format 11 different times. And then Google said use 4 different formats at least, whether it's TV, whether it's radio, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's a live video. They encourage live video because a consumer, if they see a video, they are 60% more likely to buy from you because they saw you. They saw your presentation. They saw your body language. They saw your confidence. I'm not going to buy from someone that is not confident, especially when it comes to my life's earnings. Correct? Everybody agree? Would you buy from someone who was not confident? No. You put $500,000 that you worked so hard for in your retirement in a person's hand that had no confidence to even come on a video. Coming on video is important. Did you see that? Look how many people are on video right now. And I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not saying that because every day, different people come on video and some people, it's just not the day. And that's okay. I have that too. But look at that. Confidence coming on video is important. Train yourself in these trainings. Put your video on.
Yeah. Jamie turns his video off if there's no videos on.
Yeah. Jamie, if he sees that nobody else's video is on, he turns it off.
He said, here, talk to my wall.
My makeup isn't on this morning. So it's like, no.
I have that too. Trust me. And that's why I'm saying there's no judgment. There's no judgment. But we have to train ourselves to be confident on video. I had a very hard time with this, but this man kept forcing me. No, you're going to talk. No, you're going to talk. And I'm sweating. At the end of the call, I have to change my shirt because I am sweating bullets. But I know it is necessary. I had a mentor that when he brought me into the industry, I was brand spanking new, not even licensed.
So I was at my previous practice company, and I was already an agency owner and a speaker there. And so I took her for the first time to the meeting, and I was speaking there, right? And she came in, and my partner at that time, my upline, she's like, Imrana, oh, you look like gorgeous. Okay, you're speaking right with Raza. And she's like, what? She had never spoken in front of a crowd in her life, but she walked in with me so my upline assumed she can do it, and she's like, Raza, I've never spoken before in front of people. They're like 100 people sitting here. I'm like, yeah, you can do. You'll be fine. Yeah, that was your first time.
They threw me to the dogs, and I did go up. I opened my mouth and I cried, and I walked off. And that's okay. Now I have a story to tell that I have been where everybody has been. I cried in front of 100 people. And then they kept putting me in front of people because they said, oh my God, the crying is so powerful. Go back up there. Because people were signing up because I had come from a very emotional point at that time. I had lost my sister and she was undergoing the application to get insurance. And we didn't have insurance. So now I understood what he did. So I started going along with him to these presentations and meetings. it was still new for me.
Yeah, what she's saying is she's one of your relatives that didn't believe in insurance.
I didn't.
She's my wife. She's
I'm
like,
that
I don't know
person.
what this insurance stuff is until that tragedy happened in her
So
house.
some of
right?
you know, I get this asked a lot. My spouse is not supportive. My girlfriend's not supportive. My family members don't believe in me. It's okay. They will find belief at some point when tragedy hits. Unfortunately, that is the time that people say when they get cancer, oh my God, you're gonna start getting phone calls. Oh, I need life insurance. Oh, okay. And then you start asking questions, and suddenly they've developed cancer or some kind of illness, and now they're not able to get covered. Timing is everything, right? We want to make sure you get it when you're healthy, but that's how the business is. You're gonna have that happen a lot. So for me, talking in front of you has been practice. Amy, you raised your hand.
Yeah, another thing too, the insurance industry in general for years has really been misusing the average American. That's the reason why Mid-America is in the place that it is, basically.
Yes.
And I've known that from other experiences of other families where they don't have enough coverage, or they're not actually, or they're under coverage in a policy, and it was just because their reps wanted to make the money, and they didn't really care about the people. It's the industry too in general.
Agreed.
That's
I
why
think-
so many companies have fallen in the past 40 years. At least 1,000 companies have fallen because of this.
You're right. You're right. The industry
It's
has
lack of. I think it's not the agent having commission, Brett. I think it's lack of training, and usually people join in the insurance industry also half-heartedly, and they're doing it as a side hustle or a get-rich-quick scheme, or they think it's gonna like magically they're gonna make money. And so a lot of time people ignore training, and they don't really want to develop themselves. So which product, how much coverage somebody needs, that has to do with knowledge of products, right? So a lot of companies, what they do is they just train you on the low-hanging fruit, which is final expense, right? And just a death benefit for $20,000 or 10. That's undercovered, right? But sometimes also those people are late in the game. Like they're already, let's say 60, 70 years old, or 65, 70 years old, and they were not responsible in their early years, so never maintained coverage. So now they're sick and they need coverage just to get buried, right? So sometimes, unfortunately, that happens too, that they're late to the game, or they were not responsible early on to kind of get a policy while they were healthy. So there's a lot of moving particles in that. It's not just the agent, but it's also the in the environment we are in.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. I agree.
So I'm going to share a little bit more research. I love research, so I'm sorry. You're going to have the love for it too. Forbes said that in order for you to be recognized, a client must have to see you at least 3 times. Okay? Just to be recognized. To maybe possibly buy from you, they've had to heard from you at least 7 times. But they said to develop trust, imagine that even if they buy from you, that trust might still not be there 100%. To develop trust in you as their person, it takes 27 touch points.
Wow.
Are we doing enough to create and develop a very trusting relationship and everyone we're around? No, you're not. I guarantee you're not. I know I'm not. Who can say they are?
27 touch points.
And even there's another research, Gardner and Forrester, they said it takes 31. So if you know right now that these people are saying, these are research gurus, they know what they're doing. Forbes magazine, I listen to them. So if they're saying that there should have been 30 touches for a client to 100% trust you, they might trust you with final expense after 7 or 10 touches. But what if they have $1 million 401k sitting there? It may take you 27 times until they say, you know what, this guy is good. I trust him with my life. Here you go. Here's my $1 million check. So now that you know that it takes that much, at least 30 touches, right? Let's just round it off to a beautiful number of 30 touches. What are all of you, are any of you doing that? Or are you working towards that? Or are we now going to work towards that?
Definitely need to work toward that. 30 is a lot, but yeah, that helps put things in perspective. When you think you're talking to a lot of people and you say no 27 to 30 times, that definitely puts things into perspective.
Also, what are touches, right?
Yeah, David just expanded on what touches are. And he
Right.
said he went through a class that said 36. So the number keeps going up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Again,
They just finished a big workshop.
yeah. And the reason why, and I'm telling you it's the reason, is because we are on information overload in this day and age.
Exactly. And that's because when I started in the health insurance side, it used to be a lot less. And we used to train our agents when I had a team of 18 agents. We used to train them. You have to touch them or reach out and have touches somewhere between 8 and 12. That you can see the difference in the numbers that have gone up because it's a little different on the health insurance side. But on the life insurance side, it's that way because too, if you ever notice how people shop you while you're talking to them because of the internet is so vast and they want to know if you're legit, if your business is legit. I had someone reach out to me through an internet networking simply because of my logo this week, just because of my logo.
Wow.
And it's an interesting piece. And we started talking and we are now connected in our alignable networking organization to refer to each other. And it's the same thing. It's people are going to shop around no matter how much you approach them and no matter how you talk to them. So building that rapport builds the educational piece that gives them the confidence to talk to you. And it's imperative that you build rapport. It's a relationship business in what we do.
100%.
And there's so many agents out here that don't do that. All they want is the sale. So you can gain, and that's sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to close someone because I'd rather build a rapport and not sell to you anything, but you're going to refer me down the road because I built that confidence in you.
Yeah.
Love it.
And again, this is obviously if it's a really close, trusted, warm market, that numbers can be less, right? But this is like really talking about a brand new contact, right? Now in the beginning, early stages, yeah, start with your warm market, warm circle. If you learn the power of one, where you get one warm market and you get 4 referrals from them, and you rinse and repeat that process, yes, you don't need that many touches, right? But 9 out of 10 of you will be like, okay, I ran out of my warm market. Now what? So if you want to go into the cold market, this is what you will require, right? And that's why we actually, go ahead. Somebody was saying something? Okay. So touches also means email drip campaigns, text campaigns, right? Touches means social media posts. That's why McDonald's imprinted in our brains. When you think of fast food, you think of McDonald's. Why? Because they dripped on you on ads. I remember there was McDonald's ads every 5 minutes when I was a kid, right? Or when I was younger in the United States. And I was like, and now you don't see that anymore. But there was enough branding of the arc that it's kind of becomes a thing. And then when you go, every street corner has a McDonald's still, right? So why? Again, touch points. The new command center, the new Wealthmaker command center that we are launching, it has 2 parts to it. One side is the old command center revamped to be a sequential course with certification, quizzes. It also has a Spanish division. Everything that we have in English on the old command center, it's also in Spanish. So you can actually build in a Spanish army under the new Command Center Wealthmaker platform. Plus, the marketing side has tons of drip campaign features that we are talking, or touch point features that you can actually eventually use.
So I was
from
gonna
technology.
relate that.
Yeah.
So that is why it's important to create your social media platforms, because you don't know the consumer. I would think everybody my age is on Facebook, but apparently I'm an old person. Everybody's on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't like Instagram, but if people like Instagram, right? So if we know that, then I should be active on Instagram. I'm not, and that's a problem. A lot of people are on TikTok. They love short videos, powerful. 30-second videos, 60-second videos are very powerful. So you need to create this has to be a business campaign. You have to create social media profiles and you have to get people to follow you. It's not enough that you created a profile. Everybody, please remember that. It's not enough that you created a profile. You need to make sure that your family and friends are following you. Why? Why do your family and friends need to follow you?
Because that puts you out there, and so that people are recognizing you more.
Part of it, yes. So I'll tell you why. There's something called algorithms, something called FYP, For You page. It naturally brings upon content to you. So if you are watching conspiracies all day long, guess what your algorithm is going to show you?
Conspiracies.
Conspiracies. If you are watching Chinese news all day long, guess what your For You page is going to show you? Chinese news. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So in order for your friends and family to follow you or to see your posts, they should be following you. So guess what? When they follow you, you have created a touch point, because after every 15, 20 videos, you're going to see one of your friends pop up that shared a video or a post. If nobody is following you, you're no longer visible. Yeah. So make sure you have a campaign that you share and say, hey, everyone, follow me, I'll follow back. Make sure you follow me and support me. And don't make it a business profile. I personally wouldn't. I would make it my personal profile because it's a lot easier to maintain. I would not build a business profile if I have not juiced up my personal profile. It's a lot of work. Shalonda, your hand is up.
Imran, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you create these trainings. It's like when I go to church and the pastor is speaking to me. So all week I was in a training with my job. For those of you that don't know, my full-time job is I'm a financial coach. I'm a certified financial counselor.
Her job.
So all week we were in training about touching the client. All week, helping the client to break the barrier so that they can get to their debt paying journey a lot faster. Because we found that when your client comes to you and they say, Shay, I have all this debt and I just don't feel like I'm making enough money to be able to pay down the debt, which is what we're seeing a lot of right now because of the state of the economy. And so when they come to us and we get with them on the first consultation, it's more like, you do have a lot of debt, but here's your game plan, because we have so many clients to get to that are in that situation. So the training taught us slow down, break it into pieces, but warm them up to the consultation. So you want to drip on them. You want to send them invites and say, hey, I'm looking at, starting like a week prior to your consultation. Hey, I'm looking forward to action. Here's some things that you can look at, that maybe we have posted on our personal sites to warm them up to us. Our job even encourages them to go and look at our social media so that they can see that we're not just this finance banker that only does bank, that we have family and that we have a surrounding and that we contribute to the community. So everything that you're saying, I just went through, and at the time I was like, oh my gosh, I do not want to sit here with these people for 30 hours this week. But I don't know how you always do it. It's like your trainings are always right in line with either my job or my business, which are both one and the same or could be. So thank you so much. But it is much easier to go through this training with you than with them.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what it is when we're all on the same page.
Synced.
We're all synced. And some of you are probably thinking the same thing as Shalonda is saying. If you're synced with us and we're all in the same area, the same mindset, it's gonna naturally happen. And the goal is for us all naturally to become 6-figure ring earners and more, maybe, 7 figures. The goal is that I would love for all of you to become 7-figure ring earners, but also to become promoted, your legacy. I think we all want to have that energy brewing together, because I'm sure all of you wish that for others too.
That's where we had it. Right?
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. But yes, the touch point is incredibly important. But also the timing of it is sometimes you say, there's not enough people out there. Who am I going to talk to? That's okay. I have solutions for that. Actually, this was not what I was training, but I'm looking at this book and I'm just developing the training. So sorry about that. It might be unorganized, but I'm trying to make it flow. So we're going to ignore the training I had planned.
So Shalanda, I'm going to tell you Imran's secret. She has superpower on creating an idea out of thin air and then training it and teaching it like she developed it, like within 10 minutes.
She definitely does. Yeah. She definitely does.
Thank you. But mostly it's stolen content. So again, stolen content. I'm just sharing it with you.
How to repurpose. It's called repurposing.
You can do it too. Make a lot of YouTube videos. All of you can do this.
But again, it comes from training, right? Going to workshops. We dedicated 3 days to this workshop. But again, when you go to a workshop, that's why it's very important to go get training, because your proficiency comes from information that's inside you. And then when you're squeezed, the right information comes out.
100%.
That's why Texas Takeover, I'm hoping every one of you is going to be at the Texas Takeover 7th, 8th, and 9th. Sorry, this is a plug, but this is a plug for you.
It's why we do it.
It's why we do it. And we will have different carriers, different speakers. It's going to be a jam-packed training session, kind of like this, for like 16 hours, right?
Yeah.
So, and I also love to meet you guys. So.
Yeah, it's very important, very, very important. So when you say there's not enough people, right? There's some things, there's opportunities for us. There's retirement income gap, which we focus on, right? Then there's the wealth transfer. Then there's investment diversification. Some people might want to be in investments in the stock market, but they also need fixed accounts. There is no one, unless they're 25 years old. After that, they need to have a certain percentage starting to go into fixed accounts. Most candidates are not okay to be completely in the stock market. I learned that as a financial advisor.
Yeah, I just had a client, Tess, your client. How much did she lose in the last 3 months?
She lost about 20,000.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Poor lady was excited. We were moving her $40,000 to a fixed. And when she called, she was looking at an old statement. When she called, it was only 20,000 left.
Oh my God. That's terrible. I mean, I would cry. I don't know if she was emotional, but that is.
It cuts in half.
When I talked to her, at first, I think that it didn't sink in because she started with a lot lower amount. But after she thought about it, she was like, and then she's like, well, if I leave it in, then it will grow. I said, you could actually, in a couple of days or a week, lose half of that or all of it. So
it's election year. Don't leave anything to chance right now. It's election year. We all know election year, stock market goes crazy. After the president gets sworn in, it goes crazy. There's wars. This is not the year to play games with your money, for sure. This is annuity season For anybody that is in the annuity market, if you really want to be a big shot in annuities, that's our goal. I'm just going to share that and put it out there. Our goal is, because I was training with last month people who do $30 million in annuities a year.
Oh man, yeah.
$30 million in
30,
annuities.
what was that? 64 million, no guy, right?
One person.
One person.
I'm just saying a number that's crazy already to me.
Not a team.
One person doing 30 million. And what are they doing? They're creating touch points. They create relationship building.
Hundreds.
Someone said that, relationship building, right? Franklin said that actually, that he makes a relationship with people. So they do they send pies on Thanksgiving. They do a event for their clients. They say, hey, everybody come over. I'm going to serve lunch. They give gifts. They send stationery to their clients just to stay their clients. And that client refers them business. They also have one person said, I hire a chef and I rent a place. And what I do is anyone that's referred me business, I bring the guy who referred me, the gal who referred me, plus the person they referred me to. And they both come and they get to bond. And there's about 50 people and he cuts it off at 50 because he's like, at that point, I can't think about affording more than that, right? So he cuts it off at 50 people and he has 25 pairs, right? And they're just cooking and they're enjoying their time. And this person is providing such a great time. And that client leaves so happy that, my God, my advisor, my finance guy is the T. Okay. He's top notch.
Yeah.
That's how your client should be speaking about you. We learned that.
Yeah. Are you sending your client an after the sale gift or a card?
Yeah, something small.
Most agents don't. They use them as already sale done and move on to the next sale, right? How many of you have sent a small note? Hey, thank you very much for your business. Looking forward to help you and your family.
Someone did that to us. There was a person trying to recruit us. Lovely lady.
Oh my God.
Lovely lady. So we went to go meet her because, we're always trying to recruit also.
I will show what they sent first.
So he's going to bring, oh my God, this blew us away. I almost wanted to be recruited. Imagine if you did this to people you were trying to recruit who opened up and listened to your opportunity. Do you know where it is? He can't find anything, so I don't think he's going to find it. But she sent a card, handwritten thank you card for coming out and listening to her. Plus, we had taken a picture. She had printed that picture out with her and sent that picture as well. What a cool, the imagery was there. She created an image for us. That warm, feeling that we're friends was there. It was so impactful, I thought. Would that impact you if you were somebody that met someone and they took that much care and concern and time into you? What if you did that with the recruits that you talked to? Would that be a game changer in your business? How much do photos cost? How much do thank you cards cost? And how much do stamps cost? Nothing. To build a long-lasting, trusting relationship with someone, we learned that too. We're like, oh my God, we got to implement that too. That is crazy what people are doing. And no wonder they're successful. There's no secret. They're doing the little extra thing that you didn't find it, did you? He didn't find it. So they're doing the little extra touch.
So they sent us a small, mini safe with the $50 in it?
No, not that one.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's something we can't even do. So let's not talk about that. I'm talking about the thank you card.
Okay.
So it's another marketing. That was the financial advising side. For some reason, they market you better. So
they got money.
How many of you would try to implement that? The thank you card.
No, but let me give you the example. So this financial advisor company, because she's a Series 65 now, so she's on the radar now. So they send a little small safe, right? And the safe has a passcode. And the note said, to open the passcode, there's $50 in there. You got to call us. So we called in. Like, okay,
it was brilliant.
$50 to open this lock. Called in. She's like, oh yeah, the code is this. So we opened the code and there was $50 in there. This is like an amazing little mini safe and they have $50. And then I'm like, so why did you send this to us? They're like, oh, we're having a conference and we would like to bring you out there. Expense paid conference, right? But look at how much money these guys are spending to build relationship and to recruit her as advisor. Okay, so they spend without any hope. And I'm like, hey, we're not moving anywhere. They're like, okay, it's okay, just come. I'm like, you sure? Like, yeah, just come. You know, we would love to see you and meet you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's okay. So when I asked how many people are gonna start implementing that strategy, I think I want to see hands up if it's possible. Put
Just
your
a
hand up.
Thank you card, you know?
Wow. Okay. So several people are gonna start sending a thank you card for listening to them. To me, that was memorable. Wow. Okay. This is awesome. I'm so glad we learned that we can do that, because it doesn't have to be just a Christmas card, right? It doesn't have to be. We can do the little extra. And even clients, what if you said, hey, client, it would be super awesome if you can give me 3 of your friends' names or family members' names that I could possibly help. Just let them know that I'll be calling them. And you call them, and when you finally call them and you make relationships with them, you also send a thank you card again to your client. Say, hey, client, I really appreciate you. Here's a coffee on me. Send them a $5 gift card to Starbucks or whatever coffee shop you think. It's just a little extra touch. It's retaining your client and developing your business relationships that are so strong that you will never have to market again. You would just have referral marketing. Yes. Christopher.
There's a web or an app that you can use. It's called ClickUp. So you can put so I don't have a lot of clients or whatever, but I'll do it for some of my friends and stuff. You can put in their birthdays, anniversaries, stuff like that. So the app will give you notifications a week, a month in advance. So you can send them cards, you can talk to them, text them, do whatever. So that's a good way of doing it also.
Nice. Click it, share the link in the chat.
Okay, I'll try.
Perfect. So we have, and oh, Shalanda, your hand is up. Oh, was it up for the question, David? Okay. Oh,
yeah, I was up for the question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm traveling, so everything is crazy.
Just making sure I got you. Okay. So there's a lot of people that we can help and a lot of extra things that we can do. Let me tell you what US is saving, the retirement gap in the US right now. The average US savings right now is 3 to 5% of their income. Some people not even, like 3 to 5% is only being saved by somebody. That's not enough for retirement. The top 10% income earners, their average saving is 9 to 12%.
Wow.
Okay. The required amount that you should be saving every year to meet your retirement needs, that includes inflation, cost of living, everything, right? And not having an income coming in, is 30 to 35%.
Yep.
Is what you actually should be saving. I know we are not saving that. So I don't know many others that are saving 30, 35%. Did you guys know that you should be saving 30, 35%? It's insane. That projection is very scary. So
I did know that, but only because of the industry that I'm in. But I'll let you know that in the economy that we're in right now, there's so many people that are struggling that they're calling in to see how to borrow from their retirement, because people weren't taught to pay yourself, put money into an emergency savings or a regular savings prior to putting everything in your retirement. And the ideal of retirement to most people is 401k. So this is the perfect environment right now to be speaking to people about other ways to put money aside for retirement, because there are some companies that will only allow people to pull from their retirement if they have 3 severe hardships, foreclosure, eviction, death of a family member, or college tuition. So for these people that are not behind on their mortgage, but have lost some of their wages at work and need to just borrow from a savings or want to get that from their 401k, they can't do that. And they may have $300,000 in their 401k, but they can't touch it. So this is the time that we need to be speaking to these people and really mass the market to show people that there's another way to save towards retirement that is more flexible. We don't want you to borrow from it, but it's hard on me every day to tell someone, I'm sorry that you can't, your job doesn't allow you to borrow from that 401k and they don't have any emergency savings.
Also, guess what this target market is? They are looking to make extra income.
Absolutely.
So give
I
them the
talk to them
opportunity.
every day and I can't tell them, hey, come work with me. And it kills me.
Tell them, hey, there's a
Every
guy.
day.
Tell them that the guy I wanted you to talk to, call him. His name is Raza. I'll put him on your.
I feel so weird because I don't know. I don't want to toe that line, but I don't know. But I'm telling you, I talk to at least 35 people a day, but I probably talk to about 10 or 15 of those people that say that they're looking for things, but they're scared or they get these scams or people tell them they got to put $500 down. And I want to say, come work for us, but I can't.
Well, get permission from your company and then do it.
I don't know how that would work, but I'll look into it.
Give it a shot.
I mean, you can do a newsletter also, Shalonda, just like a gentle nudge. You could probably do a newsletter of opportunities that you may be overlooking,
third
ways
party.
to make money, and you can have like Uber in there, and
Oh, we do that all the time. You're right, because we do that. Like
like a gentle
I
nudge.
am allowed to send out, yeah. And there's things on there like working solutions, different work from home jobs that we created. So yeah, maybe
And then
maybe
that
we
you
can
can
do that.
have a new capture page from the new Wealthmaker, and then a link to that capture page.
Oh yeah,
It could
you
be
can build a whole funnel
it
for
could
you.
be a neutral third party looking page, and then let them opt in and look at the Expedia opportunity, and and we can work on that. I'll help you do that.
Yeah, that could
Okay,
be.
thank you.
So another number you can write down when you're talking to people, because throwing out these facts is powerful. It brands you, it makes you trustworthy because you knew something that they didn't, right? That's why sometimes I encourage you, write it down. So retirement is gonna cost you 2 times your home usually. So if you have a $500,000 home, you need $1.5 million to sustain yourself. There are 12 million households that are earning 200K per year and above. Okay, 12 million household. But let me tell you how sad this number is. 90% of the entire US population is under saving for retirement. 90%. They will not be able to maintain their current quality of life. So guess what? Everybody is your client. Everyone. Because those 10% that are not needing you, they're probably like trillionaires. But everybody else, you're their friend. Actually, you're even friend to the millionaires because they have to pass it somewhere without major tax issues and probate. So they need you again. So you are everybody's friend. Let me throw some more numbers. They said $84 trillion was going to be passed from older generations. I just said this, right? Older generations to Generation X and millennials in the next few years. $84 trillion needs to be passed down to their kids. And why? It's because baby boomers, they benefited from this massive price growth. Their home values appreciated by 500% since 1983. And that's true. We've seen that, how the market is now. So people who owned homes in 1983, they had increased in value up to 500%. So they had access to so much money, so much growth, so much opportunity that now they're these rich older gentlemen, older females, women, and they got to put it somewhere. They're not going to take it to their grave. They're going to give it to their kids. Everybody wants to give something to their kids. They want their picture on the mantle, right? So there's about $84 trillion out there that you can help move through insurance. You don't think the Trumps use insurance? Yes, they do. You don't think the Rockefellers use insurance? Heavily. They are actually a family built wealth out of insurance.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
So most of that 84 trillion is in home businesses or family businesses. So how would we market to those?
That's a good question.
What's that?
If a lot of it, most of it would be in these family businesses, how do we market to those?
Business owner.
Yeah.
Business owner is the lowest hanging fruit out there, because every time you drive from your house to the next gas station, you pass, 50 businesses, right? With no shortage of businesses or business owners.
I would approach them first, right? Because they're business owners. And then when you talk about what insurance provides is the movement of assets to their future generation, that can be a part of the discussion. Then the light bulb goes off for them that they are going to be dealing with probate issues. We know plenty of insurance agents who are stuck in probate, and probate is 2 years. Plus the taxes, don't even talk about the taxation. And now is a great time because we don't know what the political environment will be. Again, we're insurance agents. We should not be political, right? Everybody is welcome. Everybody is a client. So when we say political environment, it could be anyone, and it will affect taxation. Taxation has to go up no matter what. I mean, I know this is a big statement to say, but when we went to Barclays for training, the economist said, we have to clean the deficit. We have to clear some of this deficit. And the only way to clear deficit is by taxation.
Yeah, well, taxes are already going up 2% next year. So
yeah, that's why you see inflation that's never going to go away. The economists have already said this. We can do whatever you want, vote wherever you want. It doesn't matter. But as an insurance agent, it is important for you to understand. This is not politics. It's important for you to understand that taxation will go up. So we have to prevent the families from incurring huge taxes when they transfer wealth. And inflation is going to go up. So we have to help families retain wealth, or at least retain some certain kind of lifestyle where they don't have to beg for money, or
limit the taxes as much as possible.
Exactly. So don't worry about politics. Worry about the information that you are learning and how you can help your clients.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the taxes. I mean, the political landscape.
Yeah.
Because
you got to make money off of it.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Voting does not pay our bills.
Yeah.
Using information pays our bills. So make sure you use that information. It doesn't matter. It could be like people can take it the wrong way. I don't care. I have to educate you on what I learned. Economists have said there's no way around it. Whether it's going to happen in the next 4 years. Yeah, because COVID set us back so much that in the next 10 years, our deficit is not going down unless some incredible taxation laws take into place. So even if it doesn't happen the next 4 years, it's going to happen the 4 years after. It has to happen. The economists had said there's no way around it. It has to happen because it's what we need to take care of this multi-trillion-dollar deficit. There's no way around it. So if I already know this, I don't care who's going to come into power. I am going to go in as an advisor and say, I have answers. I have solutions. It's what I provide.
Yeah, it's important to be educated on that side, so you know.
Yeah. So I know that was some crazy training that I just kind of pulled out of thin air because I thought it was cool. I didn't do the training we have the slideshow up for. Oh, can I please provide those stats that I'm sharing? Yes, I can. I can take a picture of it and share it with you. Yeah.
And the retirement, what you were saying. So I believe it's if you earn $60,000 per year, if it stayed the same, if you retire at 65, I can't remember exactly, but if you saved for 42 years, you'd have to save somewhere around 25%. Or if you started at 35, you have to save $1,000 a month to get to somewhere near $600,000 so that you can make $60,000 a month or a year.
Yeah, and a good way to do this, if you have not run illustrations on yourself, everyone, I recommend you run an illustration on yourself, your wife, your son, your cousin. It's good practice. It's really good practice to know your numbers, just like he did. That is a very, 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 very incredible. That shows a trust factor. He knew his numbers. You should know that, hey, I'm 50 years old. I have to save $1,200 a month to be able to have this much when I retire. Speak with confidence with the client. That is also part of your story when you become a consumer of the product. I am a consumer of the product, right? I have my own IUL. I put well, now it's $1,000 a month I have to put in order to have $100,000 when I retire. I have to do that. I mean, there might be some months that I might not be able to do that, right? But I have to in order to have six-figure retirement, which I don't know if it's even going to be enough when we retire. For me, that's 25 more years. Who knows what the market's going to be like 25 years from now? Who knows what inflation is going to be like? Who knows what taxation is going to be like? So we have to prepare in advance that people have at least six figures in retirement coming in tax-free. Because what they don't know is their current 401k is going to be heavily taxed. If you access it early, it's going to be penalized by 10%. And there are harsh rules in order to have access to it. So you have to make sure you educate your clients about that. I don't have much more training after this. Everybody, you can come off of mute and talk and let's chat about it. What did you learn? What do you think we can apply to our business? I feel like my training was a little bipolar because it had no guide, but it's okay.
I have a question first, Ron, and regarding those points that you were going over, I had to up and leave for the moment. There were 3 or 4 things that you were pointing out after you got the book. Yeah, the first one was retirement gap. Could you fill me in on the other ones? Not necessarily the explanation, but the point itself.
I can share the sheet. Eddie, I think you have this. You were at this training.
And what's the name of the book or class or whatever that you?
Oh, this is through the Kaizen program. If you register with them in Dallas, they have about 2 a year, I believe. Incredible training.
Okay, I never heard.
I may, if it's in there, I do have it.
Eddie, it's this book.
Okay.
And it's
I have it.
Page 19.
Yeah, I just need to go in there.
Mohammed was also there. I believe he also has this training, but I'll also drop some of these sheets into the chat so you have access to it. These are really great because they have like pictures and all kinds of great stuff.
What I found, if I could share, what I found is that having that knowledge when you are with a client, just putting out like tidbits of knowledge that people don't know, it just gives you a step up.
Yeah.
Like when you say, I told one client I was on the other night, I said, hey, did you know that the insurance industry is older than the country?
Yeah.
And they were like, really? They didn't know that.
Yep.
And I was like, it's older than the banks. Like it's more secure than banks are. And they were just like, I kept giving them like tidbit after tidbit. But what you were sharing today, as far as those pieces of knowledge, really does give you a step of credibility because people, they don't know. And the more you educate them, the more they lean in towards you. Me and Brianna did a meeting with a lady, and we were done. We finished the presentation, and she goes, "Is that it?" she thought we were going on. It was like a half hour, maybe half hour, 35 minutes. But she was like, "Man, I was just getting into that," and we were done. She was sold on it, but just the information that we were sharing, she had never heard any of it. So,
and Eddie, you came on a little later. The numbers you were saying, if you remember, that was part of the training that we went to. I was just reading those notes from what you were just saying. It's older than the country. And I gave the team the exact years that guy had given at that training.
Okay. Yeah.
That was incredible. I don't know if you remember that.
It really was. I do. That impacted me because that was information I didn't know. And again, just passing that on to our team members, so that when they're talking to people, even in the streets, if you say, hey, can I share a couple of things with you that you may not know? And they're like, oh, what can you share with me that you don't know, that I don't know? And then all of a sudden you drop something like that. They go, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah,
And then you can
yeah.
move to the next thing. Hey, let's sit down. I can share some more with you, that could probably help you in the future. And there's an appointment. So yeah, absolutely.
Like I already knew that insurance was 200 plus years old, but I didn't know that it was there 17 years before the independence, exact numbers, right? He had exact numbers that he was spitting out, and 33 years before the stock market. I was like, what? 33 years before the stock market? That is incredible. It's the most stable financial tool you can use ever because they've been around much longer and stress tested. So utilize these numbers. I know it sounds weird saying it, but it creates trust. It creates impact. What if you made a video about this? Like, why do you believe in it? The founder story was such an impactful training. And I was telling Pastor Idea, I was sharing, Mohammed, you were there as well, that most of the training was about developing your founder story.
Yeah.
Basically, why you're doing it.
So let's give an assignment. Like, we create a founder story for next time.
Well, how to create a founder story, I didn't train on that. We can do that the next time because I need material, guys. I can't run out of it. I don't know what to do next time. So we can all, and Pastor ID, if you have information from that last time as well, we can all jump in and kind of, I know you were busy on Saturdays, but sometimes it'll be great if we can all jump in and do a collective training of what we learned from somebody else and bring it to the team. Because I mean, there's a immense amount of information. So what homework we should be doing is creating social media profiles, having people follow you so you show up on their FYP, creating at least 30 touch points. How do you do that? Some the platform will help you, but some you have to do organically yourself. Organic marketing is very powerful. It's real, it's trustworthy, it's edible. You want to be edible. Somebody just needs to eat you all up, right? We talk about kids like that. They're so cute, they're so attractive. You just want to, people should feel that way about you. Oh my God, you saved me like $100,000. I could just eat you up. That's how people should feel about you. Develop that relationship, that pull towards you. And it has to be done proficiently, and it has to be done with thought in mind. You have to plan it. It doesn't happen. It can never happen. I know I'm not doing 30 touches. I will admit it. I am not. Maybe not even 7, unfortunately. And that is our downfall. We need to work on that. Anybody else have some thoughts to share?
Next Saturday, I probably won't be on. I'll be at a conference in Las Vegas. But we're doing a wellness thing. I already reached out to the lady doing it for the Las Vegas Metro Police. And I believe there's some financial stuff. So I'm going to talk to her individually. So whatever we train on the following Saturday, I'll let you guys know.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else have something to say? And remember, getting on camera speaking is part of your training, because 60% of your video will close a client, 60% of your clients.
This is Wendy. And Rana, just thank you again for another whoa. I agree with the speaker earlier. I don't know how you just
thank you.
Pull this and just wow. So you may think it was scattered, but it wasn't. It was very concise and comprehensive. And thank you. Can we, I guess, maybe get those numbers in a text thread or not, or somewhere in the messenger? Just those are some great highlights that I think people, I mean, heck, I learned that. So who knows that besides you guys,
Yeah.
It's just great information to share. Thank you.
I can type it up as a note just to kind of create some power in you a little bit. I think that might be a good idea. I appreciate that dialogue, because I'll type all this information up into one sheet and just kind of put it out there so everybody has that for themselves when they want to
Thank you.
Thank you. Lisette?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Oh, sorry.
Too many people, sorry.
Sorry. Okay, Glissette want to go, and then Amy?
Sure. So I was going to ask if you know if on Kaizen that's available in PDF that you can probably download for us and send. I don't know because I don't have access to them, but if you can check to see, I appreciate you typing it up. That's great, because we're gonna have that knowledge, but maybe that exists in there.
Well, some of this information was not I just had to take notes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ugly.
Yeah, no.
So that's why I'll still type it up for you.
Okay.
But that training, like I said, you're in DFW. I will tell you when you sign up with Kaizen, I think you
Mhm.
should. Because there's a lot of individuals that make 100K plus. These are your Kaizen clients.
Okay.
There's an IUL, but like powered up.
Yeah, it's on steroids.
Yeah. So I would definitely, if they have a training coming up when you're off or something from school, I would join their training. I know you're a training junkie. Lucette is a training junkie. So I'm sure she'll love that.
Yes, ma'am. I am. You know, knowledge prepares you. It's not power, but it prepares you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. I'm also a training junkie. Love it. So, oh, Amy, you had something to say. I'm so sorry.
I just want to say, wish me luck. I'm taking my state exam today.
Ooh, good luck.
So
You're gonna ace it.
Hey, Amy is the most dedicated team member in Wealthmakers because she's never missed a training without even having a license for the last few months. Okay, it's amazing. Awesome.
You're gonna ace it. We're
Thank
praying
you.
and wishing you tons of
That
good
is
luck.
amazing.
I can't wait to see what you do once you get a license.
Right.
you give me too much credit, but I'm sure the hell gonna try.
You'll ace it. You'll ace
Oh,
it.
you're amazing. Yeah, that's what it takes, guys. We were discussing what it takes to succeed in the insurance business. I'm like, what it takes to succeed in any business is consistency, stick-to-itiveness, and hard work. There's no shortcut. It's painful to show up at 9 a.m., right? But if I'm showing up, you can show up. And if you cannot show up, your team's never going to show up. So I can guarantee you look behind, there's nobody standing. And that's because you are not showing up, right? Once you start showing up, your team starts showing up because it's monkey see, monkey do, right? Human nature is when they see your team leader doing it, they're like, okay, man, I got to show up just to kind of make sure that everybody is on the same page. So Amy, you have the correct habit, which is of hard work. So you're going to be super successful.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Good luck. Good luck. Tess.
So, I really enjoyed your training today. And it reminded me of a saying that if you put your heart into it, the rest of it follows. And I really can see that, and even getting back in touch with clients and building that rapport, because I have a book of business with Medicare, and it's a great market to be able to, extend into doing this. But I realized today that I could do so much better in connecting with them, and so I was being reminded of that really helped. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know some of the stuff I'm sharing is not new. It's just something, sometimes we just have to keep hearing it over and over again. Remember, so many touch points make that point come home, right? So somebody has been driving it into us in many different formats.
Yeah.
I hope this is the time that it, really works for you. That's the goal. That's why I say it's not personally always my content. Sometimes I steal it because there's amazing content out there. You just have to repurpose it and present it your way. That's all it is.
It's a 300-year-old industry. You didn't make it up.
Yeah. If you go find self-help speakers, you
Yeah.
will see most of them say the same thing.
Yeah.
There's very few that have their own content. They're repeating the same laws of attraction, the art of war. They're repeating the same books over and over again, repurposed.
Yeah. What I would say to that too is if anybody's been to my TikToks, they're all duplications of other TikTokers. All I did was I would put on, and this is a little tip for you. If you want to get into that, take your phone, put it on, where it will type for you, put it next to the computer and let that thing type. And you go back, listen to it again, fix the little errors. And you got the whole transcript right there of someone's video. And then you just kind of read it a couple times and then you just videotape yourself saying it. And I started out like that. I didn't have the knowledge I had the words, but I didn't have the real knowledge. And the more I began to talk about it, I started learning. And so it had a dual purpose. And I get quite a few hits on one of the videos I did that talks about 401ks versus an IUL. I get 30 some thousand hits on that video. So just a little tip that, it's okay to copy people.
Pastor Eddie,
You
you're
don't.
famous.
I wish I was as famous as my daughter.
But yeah, everybody, please, if you can, they're asking for your TikTok account.
Yeah,
If
please
you
share.
follow and copy him, he's a trainer as well. He does
Also-
once a month training on Wealthmakers and does the presentation. So definitely follow him. He has some amazing gems.
Yeah, go and heart all his videos and comment on all the videos and do the
Yeah,
same thing for
support
each other. Yeah.
Yes. Juice up each other's videos because they show up more because of algorithms. You got to play with algorithms, help each other out, and juice up each other's videos.
Yes, if I see you pop up, I will definitely friend you. I don't friend a lot of people, but if you're on the team, I will friend you. And you'll notice I have like 6,000 something followers, but I'm not following a lot of people. But if you're on the team, I will follow you. If you come in and say, Wealthmakers or whatever, I'll definitely follow you and like your videos because that does help the algorithm. The more people do that, it's like honey and bees. Like they see, oh, there's honey over there, so the bees come, and the bees are the people that we're trying to catch. So
Love it. I need your autograph soon because you're famous.
no, you're the famous one. I'm just trying to follow you guys.
I
You
don't
and
think I have
Raza.
6,000 followers on my TikTok, but hey, that's pretty awesome. I mean, that's all organic. I don't think there's any automation right now on that. So he's really building that. And Brianna is and she's going to be doing training. We're egging her on for Tuesday, maybe
Yeah,
on
so
Pastor
Pastor
Eddie's
Eddie, so
presentation.
your next presentation, it's you and your daughter team. So she's doing TikTok training afterwards, and you're doing the BTO.
Okay.
Yeah, so
right.
she has enough time to prep.
Yes, you can get ready.
Everybody, make sure you plug into that one. We're going to try to push some more of our leaders to start taking up the training leadership roles because it needs to happen. That's how we're going to all grow, and that's how we're all going to become 6-figure ring earners and eventually, hopefully very soon, 7-figure ring earners. Any more thoughts or anything?
I have a question.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I'm driving, so I can't be on camera.
No worries.
Last night, I got taught a lesson, and I just want to see your input on this. So I was at a local restaurant, and I was trying to recruit somebody. And a gentleman that was overhearing our conversation, he made a suggestion, and I just wanted to see your input. He said that when I'm recruiting, to do not recruit at a higher level of the person. For instance, he made the comment. He said that person probably has a high school degree, and you were talking terms of college. He goes, "You have that person. Don't give up on that person. You're gonna keep on recruiting them but make sure you talk to in their level. Don't give them extreme numbers because that's overwhelming." And I just want to see your input, or what do y'all think about that?
Everybody has different thoughts on that. Some people have said that, oh, you're giving too much of a picture to people. And I think that's unfair. I don't like that. What if someone assumes that I'm a 6-figure person, but in reality, I should be a 7-figure or 8-figure person? Who is anyone to define what anybody is capable of doing? We have seen many people who come with no education become like servants in the industry, right? Like, why are we judging? People are different. Some people say no because it's a sales tactic, only close them with what they can understand.
Right.
But how do we know what their dreams and goals are? And how do you put a number on something? How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. I wasn't taught that way, but different people are.
So think about it, Omar. Our previous practice company, one of the owners who lives in a 30,000 square foot house now, used to change tires at Goodyear Tire, and somebody approached him and said, "Hey, have you ever thought of getting an insurance license? He's like, well, I haven't even passed high school. I live in this bodonk Riley, or in North Carolina. The only thing I know is how to change tires and fix a car. And the guy became multi-millionaire because he was introduced to insurance. Frank DeLeo was what do you call it? Forklift driver at Sam's, right? At Costco. Right. Somebody approached him. So if you're
About to earn $1
approaching
million.
about to hit $1 million passive, 12-month rolling, right? Right now he hit the
Right.
top executive partner position, which is the highest level. So if you're approaching them to get into insurance, yeah, maybe at the early stage, talk about, hey, you want to make extra $1,000 a month, maybe keep it that
Right.
way, and just talk about that, and then get them interested, and then share the information. But maybe maybe
I think
step them
find
in.
your style. I really think you can read people's faces. If they're getting overwhelmed, shoot it down a little bit. But I like to overshoot. I feel everybody is capable. I mean, a good video to watch is Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh yeah.
It's related to
Right.
I love that movie because when I passed that 6'5" test, you know how Will Smith, if you saw the movie, he was clapping. I was doing that clap. I was like, oh my God, that's my story now. No, but everybody feels, when you accomplish things, you feel that way. But just doors opening for us by getting licenses is such a big deal. It's such a big deal. Who would have thought I didn't need to get all these degrees that I worked so hard? I didn't need to go to university. I wasted my time. I honestly wish somebody told me this when I was 18.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah,
I second that.
Get insurance.
Can I say something on that?
Yes.
So, like with my job being in law enforcement, I have to learn how to talk to people in different ways.
Yeah.
Like, I can cuss at somebody, or be polite to somebody, or literally physically have to talk to somebody. All completely different. A lot of people don't understand that. Or like when I talk to my father-in-law, who is a literal genius that I know of. He has 3 doctorates and 2 master's degrees. I try and talk to him about life insurance and different things of this nature. He doesn't have a clue what I'm doing. And one of his doctorates is in mathematics, and I can't get through to him. And I know the way he talks to me about what he does, not that I'm stupid or anything, but he talks differently to me than how he talks to his colleagues.
See, I mean, so
I was gonna share. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, I wasn't gonna say anything serious. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was thinking when he was talking about the language and verbiage, I saw it the same way. We should approach anyone with the opportunity, but based on who you're talking to, I would adjust my language so it can make sense to them.
Yeah.
And he was giving that example. Because sometimes we're just used to our jargon that it makes it difficult for the person on the other side to understand. And if they don't understand our jargon, our vocabulary on insurance, and every industry has it, right? Like I can say in education, I was when I walked in the first meeting, I didn't understand over 60% of what they were saying. However, I had a bachelor's degree and I had a provisional certificate that said I can teach. But when I was in the meeting and they're like, oh, we're going to go to the PLC room, and then in the PLC room, we're going to have this conversation and make sure you bring everything ready for your DDI and blah, blah, blah. And these are all things that probably only me and Wendy understand if she's still on the call, and everybody else is like, I have no idea what these 2 things she just said means.
Right.
Listen, I am so glad you said that. I was going to say something very, from an educator's standpoint, you are hitting the ball right on the head. Keep going, my sister.
Yes, and you have to adjust it, right? Like when I was talking to kindergarteners, and I'm giving the example in education because again, that's what we're doing. We're educating. We're educating someone on an opportunity that we have, that we know, but they don't. They haven't seen that vision. So we have to adjust our vocabulary. That's the way I see it, so that they can feel, oh, I can do this. It's easy. And it's not. But if you start talking about the difficulties and you start saying, all these terminologies that even people that are studying for the license don't know half of them, you're not going to connect with them, and they're going to see it difficult, so they're going to push away. And maybe they are going to be a seven-figure earner, but if your approach to them is in that vocabulary that is hard, and then it's hard, you're not going to connect with them. So like Christopher, is that his name? Chris was saying the same thing. Every industry has its language, but if you're talking to someone that is not within our industry, they're not going to feel comfortable, and it's going to be harder to get to them. And maybe they need this opportunity and they're capable, but because of how we talk to them, they don't understand it. And so that's why I wanted to present that. And I can go on and on
Amazon.
the conversations.
Drop in on.
So that's just
I look at
my
it
take.
as income level, but yes, we also.
Which contact or device do you want? Or ask for all devices.
Alice, Amazon is talking to us.
So
Sorry,
I was thinking it as an income level, but of course, we at Wealthmakers also say when you talk to clients, it needs to be very basic level, right? As far as opportunity,
it's very simple.
It's a different conversation, but I think language should always be basic. It doesn't matter what you're doing, presenting to a client or an agent. Our terminology should never be, because that could come across as rude, like you know it all, right? But our terminology should be very, very basic, not technical jargon at all. Just ABCs, like even financial education, when you're educating a client, it should sound like you're almost talking to a first or second grader, because what we hear from the training that we listen to is not exactly what should be given to the client. That's why you should not be getting all your training from carriers. That's not sales training. Sales training is completely different.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
A little bit. Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm not muted. So I have been in sales ever since I was 20 in different types of sales, and I'm very analytical. And I used to try to sell with information on why someone should buy something or whatever. And since I have been doing Medicare and into the insurance business, I feel like that you have to find out what their why is. And I think questions, and to find that emotion, because if you're trying to sell them on something that they're not even, that isn't their why or that isn't their goal, maybe we want them to buy it because we can see how it'll benefit them, but they have to see. And I think you have to really go into and ask a lot of questions and find out what they're wanting, what their goals are.
I agree. Eddie? Pastor Eddie, you had your hand up.
Yes, I was agreeing with that too. What I found is being able to connect with people just on a personal level without any selling, because people buy you before they buy anything you have. If they don't have confidence in you kind of as a person, even in the initial first piece of conversation, they'll turn away from you, even though you may have something that can be extremely helpful. We know we have things that are extremely helpful for anybody that's walking past us, but you have to connect on the human level. And then, to me, I think it's more effective. Not that that's the only way to do it, because there's lots of different ways, but connecting on that human level and then moving into, what you have or how you can help that person. And if you do that, this has been my personal experience. I won't say if you, I said I've done it. And what I've found out is that whenever I've done that, I've connected with them, and it's been much more smoother as far as the transition from, personal to, business, or what do I have, or opportunity, versus just jumping in with, a product or an opportunity. It's like, find out about the person, like new form, family, occupation, money, recreation, jump into those things and find some connection point. And then now that person's warm with you, they're going to be more apt to listen to what you have to say. And you can I've been doing sales for well over 30 years. And so, sold anything from potions to you name it. I've been in there real estate. I'm a real estate agent. I mean, I'm everything. And each field is different. You have to, kind of maneuver your way around to find what works for you. But always connecting with that on a personal level, I think is going to help be more effective down the road because you're making that connection. Now I got something for you. Oh, well, I want to hear you. I like you as a person. And they may not like necessarily, but you're showing that kindness and genuineness about who you are, and they can see you're real. And people like realness too. So anyway, that's my take on it.
I agree with that. I mean, money has no language, honestly. Everybody understands money. We all need it to survive. So I like that. It's like a door. You keep knocking, you keep knocking. It takes a couple of knocks before someone opens that door, right? So you have to keep warming that person up until that door opens. Franklin, you had something to say.
Yeah, just a caveat off of what Pastor Eddie was saying too. When you're talking with folks, you can read them, and we're in a business where we sit across from each other, or whether it's on a screen or whether we're at a kitchen table or sitting across the table at a coffee shop. Learning to read how the person is receiving what you're putting out can guide you as to how far you can go and how you can talk to them and how you can relate to them. One of the things that I learned early in this was to not talk down to anybody, but to talk directly at what the subject that came up and how you got to them or how they got to you, and speak to that first. And then once you speak to that, it opens up the doors. And if you really watch them and see that they're understanding, they will guide you into the conversation that you're going to have to them to either recruit them, set an appointment, um, talk to them. We talked about touches later. You're going to have all the information you need to reach out and touch them because they're going to give it to you. And it's actually a sense of empowerment for them because they're going to be empowered to ask you the questions that allows you to talk to them and ask and explain, and then you can ask more questions to them as to why you think they would be a good fit for coming on board or a good fit for, a potential sale. No matter how you look at it, learn to read the person, and you can tell whether you're losing them or whether you have their captive attention, just like Pastor Eddie was saying earlier about the lady who was saying, "Is that it?" He
Yeah.
had them. He had her so enticed in what he was saying, and she gave him all the information to do that. So
You have such a calming voice, Franklin. Just saying.
I've been told that I put people to sleep though sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
Very calming. But I think that's a great point. That's a good point to end it with. That your body language, and someone else said that in the messages, that your body language is very important. I think one of the reasons I'm good at training, I do think that's one of my skill sets, and I'm very proud of it because I've worked on it. I've learned a lot from other trainers, right? I do a lot of courses, but one thing I learned is hand movements, acting like the person is sitting in front of you, reaching into the screen almost like I'm gonna pop out of your computer or your phone, right? I move around. I try to be dynamic. I make mistakes and allow myself not to be perfect. I stutter. I say goofy things because I need you to feel who I am for you to listen to me. It's my personality that is coming through the screen. So make sure when you're talking, don't talk to them like you're an agent and that's a client sitting in front of you. Talk with your personality. Personality will do a lot of your selling for you. A lot of your selling for you. People follow for personality. So make sure who you are is not just knowledge based, but you're laughing, you're connecting, you're moving your hands, you're welcoming them in. That it's when it's a screen, it's very hard to create a relationship. So lean in. And I'll end it with that. Thank you everyone for staying on a little longer and sharing. And we had an amazing comment section. I appreciate everyone for, I think we're starting to become more engaging. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. It makes it a lot easier on me that now everybody's jumping in and training each other. This is what we need to have. This is the environment that is my goal. So keep doing that. We have so much advice that we can give each other that we don't need it from outside. So I love the engagement. Continue to do that. Thank you, everyone. Have an awesome Saturday. I hope you enjoy and build your business like crazy. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Good job.
Bye. Good luck.
Good luck, Amy. You're going to kick butt. We know it.
Bye.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good luck. Good luck.